Why aren't you drinking? It's a question every non-drinker has heard 1,000 times. It's a strange social phenomenon. Alcohol is perhaps the only drug where you need an excuse not to use it. If you don't smoke, people say good for you. If you don't do hard drugs, no one asks why. But if you don't drink, you are suddenly a psychological mystery to be solved. Are you recovering something? Religious? On medication? Or are you just boring? Today, we are looking past the glass, exploring the psychology of those who choose sobriety. What does it feel like to live life without a filter? Why does your sobriety make others uncomfortable? The psychology of the non-drinker is often defined by the reactions of others. This is the social mirror effect. When everyone is lowering inhibitions, your sobriety acts as a mirror, highlighting that others are drinking. For many, this feels like a silent judgment. People don't ask, "Why aren't you drinking?" because they care about your health. They ask because your presence makes them question their own relationship with the bottle. The non-drinker is a glitch in the matrix of social bonding. You aren't participating in the collective altered state. This creates a psychological out-group dynamic that can be isolating or empowering. What is actually happening in the mind of the non-drinker compared to the crowd? Alcohol primarily attacks the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and the brakes. The non-drinker keeps their brakes fully functional. While others are losing themselves, the non-drinker is retaining themselves. Many people drink to stimulate GABA, creating a feeling of relaxation. Non-drinkers find internal ways to manage social anxiety. They don't have a liquid mask to hide behind. This forces them to develop much stronger emotional regulation skills. Alcohol interferes with the hippocampus, preventing the encoding of long-term memories. The non-drinker is the only one who will remember the night exactly as it happened. They are the historians of the night, a role that carries both a burden and a unique power. Why do people choose this path? The roots are often deep and varied. 1. The legacy of trauma. Many non-drinkers grew up in alcoholic homes. They saw firsthand the destruction of the liquid mask. For them, sobriety isn't a health choice. It's a survival strategy. It's a way to ensure they are never out of control, like the people who raised them. 2. The value of clarity. Some people have a psychological need for cognition. They value their mental clarity above all else. To them, the buzz of alcohol feels like a loss of self, a foggy veil. 3. The rebellion of the self. Not drinking is a form of psychological rebellion. It is an assertion of autonomy. I don't need a substance to be interesting, brave, or happy. We need to reframe how we see the non-drinker. They aren't missing out on the party. They are experiencing a raw reality that most people are too afraid to face. Living without alcohol is like living in high definition. When you are happy, it is a real, earned happiness. When you are sad, you feel the full weight of it, which allows you to actually process and heal. When you connect with someone, it's a soul-to-soul connection, not a GABA-to-GABA connection. The non-drinker has a higher emotional baseline. They don't have the highs of the Saturday night binge, but they also don't have the lows of the Sunday morning shame. They live in the steady state. How do you survive and thrive as a non-drinker? 1. The soda and lime shield. If you want to avoid the "why aren't you drinking" question, hold a drink that looks like a cocktail. It removes the social mirror and lets people relax around you. 2. Own the narrative. You don't owe anyone a medical history. A simple "I feel better when I don't drink" is a complete sentence. 3. The exit strategy. Understand that parties have a peak clarity. Once the crowd hits a certain level of intoxication, the quality of connection drops. It is okay to leave early. You aren't missing the fun, you are missing the repetition. 4. Find your tribe. Seek out spaces where the primary activity isn't consumption. Hobbies, sports, and creative groups provide substantive connection that doesn't require a social lubricant. At the end of the night, when the music stops and the lights come up, the non-drinker is still there. They remember the jokes that were actually funny and the ones that were just loud. They remember the secrets shared in confidence. They remember the way the air felt and the way the music moved. Choosing not to drink isn't about saying no to fun. It's about saying yes to the present moment. It's about having the courage to face life exactly as it is, without the filter, without the fog, and without the regret. In a world that is constantly trying to blur the edges, there is a profound beauty in staying sharp.